Judy O'Higgins. I have known Judy for years now. She is just a force of energy, a force of nature. Judy, I know you've got some really special cards to share with us tonight, including one which was, I believe, one of the very first cards that you ever sent on this system.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much for having me on, Kelly. It's really an honor to be here and to share these stories. This first card was one of the first cards I did send. And my background is a counselor. So at the time, I was still doing that. And I had a new client come into my office. He was a young man, and he looked very discouraged, depressed, and had obviously low self-esteem. And I found out during our session, it's because his father always told him he was worthless, no good, would never amount to anything. And just in case he didn't get the message, he beat him a few times, and so make sure he got the message. So this poor young man was really carrying up negative stories in his head. So I had just joined Send Out Cards. He told me during this session that one thing that made him feel better was eagles. He loved eagles, and when he saw them fly, he felt more free and more powerful. And I had a prompting because I remembered that we had a card in our catalog with the eagle on it. So I sent him this card. I created some affirmations for him, and I sent him the card with the affirmations. And I thought to myself, well, let's just see if this makes a difference. So it was the first time I tried any of this with a client. So you can see the affirmations there. I'm a valuable person. I matter. I count. My thoughts and feelings are important. My words and ideas are important. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to say no. It's okay to be me. So, and then I said, I'm a child of God. I deserve love and respect. I love and respect myself. And I sent it off to him. And I gave him the advice to read it to himself every day in the mirror out loud, and then come back next time, tell me if it made a difference. So 3 weeks later, he comes back. He's like a different person. Instead of looking down at his feet, he made good eye contact. He was present with me. He had his head up. His voice was stronger, and you could tell he was transforming into a different person because those old stories were being replaced by new stories. So here's what he said that changed my life. He said, he pulled the card, he had it with him. He pulled it out of his jacket. He said to me, thank you so much for this card. It's made so much difference. I carry it with me every day while I'm at work. I read these to myself. When I go home at night, I bought a frame. I put the card in a frame so I can look at the eagle. And I only have one request. Could you please send me another copy, because the card's getting a little damaged and frayed from going in and out of the frame every day. Whew, I about fell over. I had no idea the power that a card could have. So he taught me about that. So his life was changed, and that was the beginning of him learning to love himself and become a whole different person. My life was changed because I learned the power that can be in a card. And I jumped into promptings with both feet, and I haven't looked back in 18 years. So that's the power of that card, that one card. This next card, this was about a year ago, to a woman that I personally didn't know that well. I kind of knew her, and then I moved away, and so I hadn't even seen or spoken to her in about 3 years. But she posted on Facebook that her son died unexpectedly and suddenly, and that she was distraught. And she just was beside herself. And I got another prompting. I said, I've got to do something. So I took this picture of the two of them off Facebook. I made a card and put some words about how I cope with losing my husband and sent it off. And I had no idea, if it would make a difference or not. So about a week later, I get this message from her. Thank you so much for this card. This is the best card I got. I carry it in my car when I'm traveling around doing my work so that I can feel closer to my son. And I feel a lot of comfort from this card. Thank you so much. And with this card, the most important thing about it is the photo. That's the part that made her connect with her son and made her feel closer to him. So once again, the power of a card to affect a life. The third card, so this one is a fun card, and this is an example of a system card. And this is a card I send to my top 5 or 10 customers, top meaning they have really big accounts and they send a lot of cards consistently throughout the year. I send them this in July every year as a thank you. And for many of them, it's the first time they've received this. So it's unexpected. And that's kind of the power of this. Who thinks they're going to get a card with a gift out of the blue in July for Christmas? So it's a really fun way to thank your customers, and any business can do this. It's also a great way to make them feel special and appreciated. And we all know that when customers feel appreciated, they're going to stick with you and they're not going anywhere else. So those are some fun things I do, and it makes it so easy with the system cards that you can send them to 5, 10, 100 people in one click. So thank you for letting me share.